Here we are, parking in, well, I don't know what this, I'll call it Center City. We're kind of downtown, hun. We're going, I'm giving a lecture, giving 2 lectures in about an hour. So I got down here. We were going to try to make the last Wanamaker pipe organ performance, but I thought maybe it might make me really depressed. So we're not doing that. Is there a reason why you guys are sitting in the last row?
Yeah.
Best view.
Best view?
We can watch other people watching.
Okay. Dad, what if I told you I could make your dreams come true tonight?
Mike Jarrett's coming?
No, even better. There's an accordion down in the basement.
No way.
And I say tonight's the night. You play an accordion in front of a sold-out crowd. What do you think?
Okay.
You sure?
Yeah. Because I don't know how to play.
No, I don't know.
Sold out?
What is this?
What?
What is this?
What is this, Mom? Well, let me tell you what this is. I'm going to give a lecture. And then improv comedians are going to improv a sketch based off of my lecture. And then another man will give a lecture. Improv comedians will then improv that lecture. And then I will give a lecture. And
2 lectures.
2 lectures, 2 nights.
1 night.
1 night. That's right, Dad. Thank you. All right. Wow. It's kind of reminded me of the Tellurides theater a little bit. Except what's her name? Rashida Jones. And with Jade.
I'm sorry, I can't think of anybody but Jane.
Is each lecture an hour?
No, my lecture is 7 minutes. The other guy's lecture is 7 minutes. Yeah. We'll be here for an hour. Listen, I'm sorry I got you out for a night. I apologize.
No, me and Mom were saying how we like it. We're out in the town on Saturday night.
Yeah, we went to Macy's and the Shrine, and we went to Center City, went to the record store.
Across the street. That was my old roommate. Busy to come here.
A lot of people over there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure his rent's probably.
All right. Well, listen, I'm going to go back. I'm too good to talk to you people. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, baby. I love you too. Okay. Oh, there he is. Here we are. The AdrianLive.org theater. Rolls off the tongue, Bob. Rolls off the tongue. Big day. You better hurry up. Theater's almost sold out. Don't know if you heard.
I gotta get my seat.
I'm giving a lecture.
Yeah, I got a ticket.
You got a ticket? Good. Hey, Nick Devlin works over there. That's my old roommate.
Is Nick in there?
Yeah, Nick's right there.
Oh shit.
You want to go say hi to Nick? I got 30 seconds. I got to get backstage. Don't know if you heard. I'm giving a lecture. Hey, Nick. Look at this. I found Bob Bogan.
Who the fuck lets this guy give a lecture?
Lucky you. My one buddy doesn't. How are you?
Oh my god.
There we go.
How are you?
I'm well.
Look at
Good.
you.
Yeah.
Bob's a real friend. He's going to come watch the lecture. Nick sucks. And don't forget,
You're gonna just look through the window.
I'm sweating all day and here I'm overdressed.
take clothes off, stupid. Never mind. Don't do that. Oh, well. Look who it is. Well, I'm glad you guys are here. You guys are going to enjoy this. I talk about yous. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you guys for coming out. Todd, I don't like the way how people are positively respond. Lake, I see you, bud. I got one hand. There you go, bud.
I haven't seen you in a while.
It's been a long time. Okay, listen, boys. I got to, no offense. You guys are beneath me, and I need to go backstage. So please don't make eye contact with me. No, you're not. No, you're not. Hey, it's for a charity, Dick. I don't need to practice, Todd.
I know you will.
Here's the green room. How excited. Look at this. More green room action. We're going. Neil, what do you like a social media dude?
In my spare time or professional?
Yeah, like, we're not professional. I'm just saying, like, what
I scroll on Instagram a
if
lot,
people
yes.
want to follow you on social media, what should they follow?
Knilegram on Instagram. Knilegram.
And you talk about food and such?
Books about food, my baby, stuff around Philly.
Okay.
You name it. Travel.
All right. And you're going to give a lecture today.
I am. I'm going to. Oops, sorry, man.
It's okay.
I'm going to talk about breakfast sandwiches.
Uh-oh. Sold out, hon. Sold out. Barely find a seat. Todd.
Hi, Todd.
Hey, guys. I'm going to be down here. All right, bud? Leave me alone, Todd. You stink.
Thank you so much for coming out. Study hall on a Saturday at your age. Impressive. At our age. At my age. At our age. Depressing. Thank you so much for coming out. This is Study Hall. We're a show where people come out, they give lectures and presentations on topics that they're both passionate and educated about. Hopefully. And we're going to have two of them here today. This show's been going on for over a decade, many different theaters. I had a list. I didn't memorize it, so I don't know which ones, but it's been here before, and it'll be here again, baby. So we're going to start. We're going to have the Philly captain is here. He's going to be doing and then breakfast sandwich researcher, Neil Barnett.
Hello, my name is John McCann. Some people know me as the Philly Captain on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. If you met me at a party and you asked me what I did for work, I would tell you I am one of those social media jerk-offs. I film videos showing off the city of Philadelphia. I also cover national news stories while riding my scooter or walking my pit bull Rick the puppy around the city. People also know me as the loud Phillies fan who occasionally yells at our opposing players. I am described as a super fan of the Philadelphia Phillies. That's not necessarily true. I am a fan of the Phillies, but I am a super fan of the people who work and attend Phillies games at Citizens Bank Park. It is because of those folks I attend over 250 games the last 3 years. I am a proud member of the Fandemic crew. The crew consists of a bunch of baseball fans led by Oscar and Brett, who during the COVID season sat outside the ballpark for every game that season. When we were allowed back in the ballpark, we all gathered in section 301. This lecture is about how our group text message became a movie on Netflix. The Phillies lost the World Series to the Astros in 2022. All right, come on, we all know this. As soon as the game ended, I was vlogging, talking to my friends about the possibility of signing free agent Trey Turner. My friend Oscar wanted Trey Turner on the Phillies. My friend Todd didn't really seem too into that idea. The Phillies didn't listen to Todd, and they signed Trey Turner to a 13-year, $330 million. Before the start of the season, Trey participated in a tournament called the World Baseball Classic. In 6 games, Trey batted .391 with 5 home runs. And before the start of the season, I was thinking the Phillies are going to dominate April. They weren't very dominant in April. They were good, winning 15 games, losing 13. Trey Turner did so poorly, my friend Todd gave him the nickname K Turner. K means you strike out, and Trey did that a lot. We were around halfway through the season when we went on a road trip, me and the crew, we went on a road trip to Pittsburgh. The Phillies were playing very mediocre, and we lost a very sloppy game to the Pittsburgh Pirates. At that game, I saw Trey's body language, and I could tell he was doubting himself. He was playing poorly because he was too in his head. After the Pittsburgh series, the Phillies went to Miami, and Trey's poor fielding cost the Phillies the game. In a post-game interview, you could see Trey's body language. It looked like he saw a ghost. The next day, I was sitting outside a minor league stadium, and I was reading my group text with the Fandemic crew and Todd. Todd was going off about Trey. Todd said Trey was garbage and that we would be stuck with him for the next 13 years. Trey played so badly, he made Todd stop being a Phillies fan for a few hours. In between that angry rant, Todd also wrote he felt bad for Trey's mental health. Back in 2012, I had a mental breakdown. I was depressed, I was having real bad anxiety attacks, and I was suffering my depression issues. I was suicidal, and I had suicidal thoughts. Luckily, I didn't kill myself. I spent a little bit of time in a mental institution. I was embarrassed, and I couldn't turn to anyone but my parents for support. My parents gave me the support and help I needed in so many ways. After reading Todd's text, I decided to make a video on my Instagram page supporting Trey's mental health. In that video, I said, "Yo, cuz, if you're going to a Phillies game this weekend, let's not boo Trey Turner. Instead, let's give him a standing ovation all weekend. My boy is in his head, and he needs some love right now. Not tough love, not right now. He needs love. So let's give Trey Turner a standing ovation all weekend long." I made the video because I knew Trey was going to get booed out of the building. I also thought if we did the ovation all weekend, it would probably give him enough time to avoid the boos. Barstool Sports shared that video, spreading the word that Philly fans must stand for Trey. If he would have gotten booed that weekend, I don't think he would have turned things around. After the ovation, Trey went on to have the best 2 months of his career. He had the 4th best OPS in the league, and he finished with a .266 batting average and 26 home runs. The ovation became national news. Trey Turner purchased billboards thanking Phillies fans. Another social media jerk-off named Baseball Doesn't Exist made a video about my video and Trey's positive response. An Academy Award-winning director, Ben Proudfoot, saw that video and reached out to me about my story. He and local director Kyle Thrash decided they would make the movie even though the Phillies didn't go to the World Series. We started filming the turnaround on October 31st, 2023, and we ended filming at the end of April 2023. We filmed for 40 hours for a 25-minute documentary. When I filmed the documentary, I believed it was just going to possibly get played on the MLB network. It somehow wound up with Netflix, and it was produced by Barack and Michelle Obama. In the movie, I say it's nice to be nice sometimes. When I met the former president, he said to me, what did you say in that show? My Obama stinks. What did you say in that show? He called the movie a show. I said, it's nice to be nice sometimes. And he said, it's nice to be nice sometimes. That's a motto for our lifetime. And that's the moral of the story. Philadelphia sports fans are such savages. When we do a good deed, it becomes a movie produced by I will now bow and do an Eagles chant. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Go Birds!
Guys, let's just go meet and ride our adult scooters and like make a lot of compliments to people on the street.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. You right there. Were you texting to a bunch of friends over there?
Yeah,
Were you texting that to friends?
yeah.
Did you get that text?
Yeah, it just came through.
You two are alright, I need to sign a contract right now. Group chat movies are hot. Do you guys have in-jokes that aren't actually funny to anybody else? You're gonna put them shits on the screen. You sign right there.
We have.
Okay.
Alright, you're good. You guys are cool with just like $2 million a piece or so.
Yeah. Oh my god, that would be life changing.
Alright, I want that chat. That chat belongs to me.
I'm thinking about starting a rival gang where we go on our scooters and we're fucking mean to people.
We signed that
What the hell?
Philly shit. Yeah, Philly
Fuck yeah.
shit. What up?
You two texted this to each other or not?
Yeah, what of it?
Click to sign right here.
Yes.
Oh, wait, come back on your scooter.
Pussy!
I got this.
I can't get over
Yeah.
the fact that we lost the 2022
I was-
World Series. I just can't get over it.
Listen, we can't make
You
the
gotta
Phillies
sign a
do
little
better.
credit card slip, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Susan, transfer it to me. This is
I'm
important.
not transferring it to you,
I
okay?
just thought we
I
had it. I
have-
thought it was our season.
I cannot make the Phillies do better, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Bryce
I
had
cannot
the
make
shoes with
Phillies
the
do better.
fanatic on them.
I didn't have any force, I just put two spoons in.
Dude, you gotta leave.
I want your order to be
Get out of
Thank
here!
you.
I'm trying to save lives!
We overcame so much when they made the fanatic wear the other costume with the stupid stars on his eyes. It was horrible.
I know. I cannot help that though, okay? I cannot
It's just
help.
like, you know.
Bring. Oh yeah, these guys just yelled at me. I was just trying to deliver lunch to this office, and they were so mean, and I'm on a threat.
Sorry, man. I was just getting upset. No, we're cool, Michelle. We're cool.
Wow. Your vulnerability has opened up the door for me to also be vulnerable.
Really?
Yeah, wasn't it?
Look, I understand if you don't want to be, because if any of the other kids see us being vulnerable right now, they're going to kick the shit out of us.
Anybody being vulnerable. I love being vulnerable.
Pull it up.
I'm so happy to take you as my wife.
I can't even believe we're finally getting
We're
married.
freaking getting married.
Fuck it,
baby.
dude. This is the best fucking day ever.
And the only
Marry that
thing
broad, dude. Fuck it.
I got left to say is E-A-G-L-E-S.
Hold on a second!
Oh,
I heard that you didn't ask if anybody's got any freaking objections.
Yo, freaking Tony, what a frick you
Oh, where the frick did I come from, Deirdre?
Freaking come from, Tony.
Where the frick did I come from, Deirdre? You're past!
You had to go there and
I got a promissory note here saying you'd love me for friggin' ever, and you gave it to me in friggin' 4th grade. So before we seal this deal with the Eagles cheer, as all weddings in Philadelphia must do.
Yo, Tony,
You got to answer for this, Deirdre, because I'm still.
Tony, get the fuck out, bro. I will kick your fucking ass, dude. Get out of here.
You tell your father-in-law to shut the frick
I
up.
will freaking not. That is disrespectful. We are in a Catholic church, okay?
Yeah, I understand. And what's your
We're
freaking
all trying to get to the
spirit
sheet cake, okay? So listen. Did your Aunt Donna notarize that note?
too? Who? You knew my Aunt Donna knew.
Oh, your Aunt Donna notarized the
Yeah,
note?
she freaking
You
notarized
freaking
that note.
notarized the note.
She's a freaking
She
notary.
freaking notarized the
Can
note.
everybody just stop?
I'm sorry, babe.
I'm so sorry.
What the fuck? I'm sorry. What is going on here?
Look, I freaking love you.
I love you. I told you
Yeah,
it was supposed
I
to be.
know.
He was supposed to be gone.
Listen.
Can I say something just for a second?
Yeah, Father, please.
Sorry,
Father,
Father.
please.
Sorry, yes.
I was just about to say you may now kiss the bride, but if his Aunt Donna notarized the
Wait, you're in the
Alright, so the thing is broken, but Neil can still come up here. And Neil Burnett, first person arts.
Folks, we're going to be talking about sandwiches today, specifically breakfast sandwiches. So if you don't like eggs, what are you even doing here? Well, this all was created at a different time. Next slide, please. Yeah, I'm talking about the cultural and culinary significance of breakfast sandwiches. This is my life's work, apparently. Next slide, please. Right, I used to be a scientist. I swear to God, I have a PhD in the sciences, and now I'm Philadelphia's leading expert on breakfast sandwiches. This is not a title that anybody else gave to me. I gave it to myself. We'll unpack that later. And my guidance counselor really didn't see this coming for me out of high school, but it is what you make of it. Next slide, please. Yeah, so I recently became a father, and one of the first things I did in Pennsylvania Hospital was eat a breakfast sandwich while holding my daughter in a custom croissant baby wrap that was made. Next slide, please. That's baby Marigold. She's 4.5 months. She's learning to consume milk, which is not an egg. For that. Next slide, please. We're going to talk a little bit about Pete Vandersteer. Does anybody here know Peter Vandersteer? Anybody else connected to him on LinkedIn? Okay, that makes sense. I went to high school with him. What are we talking about? Pete and I had a summer job together about 25 years ago. I was an unpaid intern, he was a paid intern. We had a power differential. But every morning around 10, he would turn to me and he'd be like, hey Neil, you want to go down to the cafeteria and get some breakfast sandwiches? And no, I was unpaid, and so my time was my own, and I said, yes, let's go have a couple breakfast sandwiches. And that launched all of this, I think, honestly. I had enjoyed eggs and breads previously, but I never quite realized how great a breakfast sandwich was until that summer internship, which taught me a lot about other stuff too, I swear. Next slide, please. All right, what I'm talking about is that something small can actually do something quite large. Can we get that next slide, or did I do something goofy? It's something very simple. Next slide, please. I'm so sorry. Flip so many slides. Here is a definition of sorts that I've come up with. Like I said, I used to be way smarter about things. If you know anything about like formal automaton, game theory, please talk to me after the show, because I want to make this a whole lot better. But I'm talking about egg sandwiches. Now, the sandwich scholar Talia Lavin, who also writes a lot about political commentary these days, distinguishes the breakfast sandwich from the bacon, egg, and cheese from the egg sandwich. For the sake of tonight, certainly, I have under 7 minutes. I'm collapsing across all those categories. You should actually read her work and support it. Next slide, please. So my work dates back to just 2016, believe it or not, which is just like 3 years ago, as far as I can tell. I've been living in Philly for about 3 years, and I was like, hey, why don't I go on Facebook and ask for some ideas of good sandwiches around town? Next slide, please. And so I started cataloging them in a Google map. We'll get around to this as well. Next slide, please. One of the things I like, this is where the pornography of sandwiches really gets going. So if you gotta like get your head in the game, please. Next slide, please. Great. This is, I used to live in Rochester, New York. Not a great town for breakfast sandwiches, but an adequate one. This is from a place that normally does empanadas. Next slide, please. This is a donut shop that does like ham on a bagel. Also not good, but I have photos. I ate it, I'm not proud. Next slide, please. The Penrose Diner is one of my... Okay. Very good pork roll, egg and cheese. Because I'm not a Philadelphia region native, pork roll is like a kind of a foreign delicacy to me in some ways. And so I have it a couple times a year, and I very much enjoy it, but I didn't grow up with it. And so it has this really special place in my heart. Next slide, please. Rocky's in Millwood, New York, which is like near Chappaqua, does, first of all, they're open 24 hours a day. This is the hashtag, which has in it a hash brown as well as a chicken cutlet, in addition to bacon, egg, and cheese on a poppy seed bowl. So the variation that you see in breakfast sandwiches is quite enormous, even within the Mid-Atlantic. Next slide, please. The Biscuit Lady actually moved out of the city of Philadelphia. It is in, I believe, Plymouth Meeting now. This is a peanut butter and jelly egg sandwich. Sounds very unusual, but is worth exploring. Next slide, please. Middle Child is one of the greats, one of the go-tos. People talk about it a lot. It's a very large sandwich. It is not meant to be dealt with lightly. Split it with a friend. Don't do it on a day that you have to say, go to 8 hours of meetings afterwards. Idea. Next slide, please. And you see like such innovation in this space. There's different names, different explorations. Sourcing sausages from Primal Supply. This is at was it South Philly Bagels on Passion? Which, you know, the one I mean, the one on Passion. Next slide, please. The universality of breakfast sandwiches has taken me to explore this not just in our lovely town, but far beyond as well. Next slide, please. So when I was going to Puerto Rico a couple of years ago, my friend was like, oh, Neil, I have a breakfast sandwich for you in San Juan to try out. It was good. It was good. Is it top 5 of Philadelphia? No, it's top 1 of San Juan. Next slide, please. This is Sunny's in New Orleans. This is like the day after Rob Alessiani's wedding. Actually, very good. Nice side of grits as well. Unusual option, but really nice. Like rounds out the meal. Next slide, please. Do not go to the airport in Saginaw, Michigan. If you do not order the breakfast sandwich. This was one of the worst meal experiences of my life. It was a terrible business trip. Next slide, please. If you find yourself down shore in the summer, there's a food cart called Johnny's that just does breakfast sandwiches all day long. Very enjoyable. I believe that's a pork roll sandwich. Next slide, please. White House subs as well. I'd been up to something the night before in Atlantic City. This was great the morning after. All right, next slide, please. Getting back to the local angle again, something small that lets you just like really explore where you are, lets you see what people are doing. Next slide, please. Gilda up in Fishtown has like Portuguese influences. They have a special sauce that I don't fully understand, but it's really, really quite enjoyable, very like fruity experience. Next slide, please. Rocco's, oh goodness, the image did not turn out well for this. This is specifically the Rocco's at Home Depot down by the IKEA. I always have to explain to people, look, it's a very good sandwich in a Home Depot parking lot, but not even in the ways that you're thinking. It's still better than that. I do a half sweet sausage, half hot sausage, peppers, onions, hot sauce, mayo, and eggs. The mayo really confuses people, but it makes it sing. Next slide, please. Cafe at Walnut, around 8th and Walnut, does like Korean-inspired meat. So there's like bulgogi and like a spicy pork mixture in there as well. Behind the sandwich is a guy named Eric Smith. He's a local author. He wrote a novel called With or Without You, which is about cheesesteaks. Very enjoyable book. I gave it the title. It's like a Romeo and Juliet contemporary reality TV romance about cheesesteaks. Really fantastic read. Next slide, please. Beck's Cajun Cafe in Reading Terminal is my favorite in Reading Terminal. The others that around the market are quite standard, but Beck's, like Southern influences, do something a little bit different. Next slide, please. Gosh, I'm running way over time. Vincenzo, South Philly, great artisan blonde differences there. Vincenzo's, we can go to the next slide. Yeah, artisan. This is my top sandwich in the city. This is the one that I had the day after my daughter was born, and several weekends after that as well. But sausage, egg, and cheese on a croissant. It's a Cambodian family with like French baking influences. Cash only. Next slide, please. Wawa is a local startup, perhaps you've heard of them. They're trying to do things with sandwiches as well. Sometimes you must. Next slide, please. Avenue Steaks is very close to my house, and this is one of the things that I truly enjoy is that like finding things that are like walking distance to where I live about this thing that I love. Avenue Steaks, you'll note that they do breakfast from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., but they also do breakfast from 4 p.m. to 3 a.m. I have yet to check, but I believe they also do breakfast from 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. I'm usually busy at that time. Next slide, please. Sharing, next slide, please. Right, so my map has gotten a little bit of attention. Laura DeVillis is a academic publisher in the world of history, and so I believe it's early American Revolutionary scholars were coming to Philadelphia, and she made sure that they knew where in town to get breakfast sandwiches for their little history conference. Next slide, please. My map has been viewed 35,700 times. I was just trying to figure out where to get breakfast. Why not? Next slide, please. This connects me with people. Next slide, please. Trevor Babb is a guitarist based in southern New York and Connecticut, composer, classical guitarist. He texts me exclusively about breakfast sandwiches. He has a family, he has a career, but he only tells me about his sandwich consumption. Next slide, please. Bringing it back to Pete Vandersteer. Pete and I hadn't been in touch for about 20 years, and he reached out to me on LinkedIn about a year ago, and he said, Neil, I was Googling you, and I found a talk you gave about breakfast sandwiches. I just want to say how delighted I am that you're still eating them. Pete, it is a pleasure to connect with you on LinkedIn.com. I will be giving more talks in the future. Please look for more links. Next slide, please. So Ignite Philly was the first talk I gave along these lines, is what kicked off this nonsense of mine. Next slide, please. And indeed, yes, he figured out He was part of my world. Next slide, please. Documenting. We're nearing the end, I swear. Next slide, please. I keep not just photographs, but organized photographs about the ones that I've eaten. There's a version of this talk that's like 4 hours long. That's just photo after photo after photo. Next slide, please. Some of them I had to figure out where exactly I was at the time, and so I need to go back into my Google Maps timeline and determine where I was on, say, May 17th, 2022. I was at Rocco's, actually. I can tell by that sandwich. Next slide, please. The Inquirer hired me to write an article about the 11 best breakfast sandwiches right now. Next slide, please. And look at that. My mother was so proud of that. You cannot believe. Next slide, please. My point with all of this is, like, you can find something that means a lot to you. Maybe your breakfast sandwich is actually pancakes. Next slide, please. But whatever your breakfast sandwich is, let's eat them together. I would love to connect with you. 12 minutes. Oh, yeah.
You know, there's a version of that sex that lasts 4 hours.
Okay, that might be a lot. That might be a long time.
Oh.
I mean, it's great. It was great. It's just.
I've been kind of a sex expert in the city for the better part of 10 years. I do a shortened version for...
We've been together for 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm just saying, like, I have a version that lasts 4 hours. 4 hours of
Is
just
that okay?
hard-hitting good sex.
That the motion didn't sound great. Didn't look great. It looked scary. It looked terrifying.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I'm glad you liked the shortened 7-minute version.
Come on up.
Thank you for SideQuest for having us. Thank you for Crossroads, who puts up this little show. Follow them at xroadscomedy.com or xroads on social media. Just fucking Google it. They put me up here with nothing. Thank you so much. Thank you to our speakers. Thank you to Philly Sports. Thank you to Breakfast Sandwich and the all around.
We took.
Yay!
Let the person that has
Go Phil!
Go Phils. Go Phils always. Thank you guys for having me. You guys killed it. I think it went well. I think everybody had a good time.
I think there's something that's
We are.
well,
There we go. Hey! Oh, watch your step. Did you see that? I gave a lecture.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
That was, you gave too much.
Yeah, I did good, right? Get in the picture. Mom, get in the picture, Mom. All right.
Oh, let's go in.
Todd, don't pull my mom. She's smoking the cigarette. Okay.